welcome back to the class of C programming, and we are continuing to work on how we use structures, how we access structures in the C language. And in the beginning, we talked about this function, and basically this is the function used to print out all the information of a particular planet. And the planet, it is the name of the planet is named as PL. It is defined as planet underscore T type. Underscore T type. Remember, planet underscore T. It is the name of a structure we defined earlier. Planet underscore T. When this is defined as a type, a structure, and it just can be used as the types for int, double, char. So in this line here, we declared 3 planet type, planet structure variables. And also, I suppose we know the way to access the member of a structure. You really need to do 2 things. Okay, you need to write down the name of the structure variable, and then followed by a dot, followed by the name of the member. Okay, so this name here, if you only use a name, the computer may not know what do you want. Okay, and you need the compiler may not accept this way. The compiler needed to know what kind of name you are talking about, or if you really don't figure out there's any variable named as a name, it will just complain. The compiler will not compile at all. So you needed to tell you meant the name in the structure variable PL. So PL dot name, and then PL dot, and integer type, double type, and string type placeholder. And also the next part is somewhat a little more complicated. How do we make a planet type variable as an output for a function? It's a little more complicated. I'm trying to see if I can explain to you and using the next example. By the way, before we go further, you really want to know the program I talked about here, they can be downloaded directly from our course website, Pilot. It is under the folder called source. Okay, under the option of content, there's a folder called source, and this can be downloaded directly from the Pilot. And also, I think this time, I think even it is in the Word document, you can copy and paste it directly, because I don't see the change of the double quotation marks. Mostly, they should work in your program directly. Certainly, you need to write a main function, and then you need to make a function call in the main to verify each function work. Okay. So the next part, I would say the difficult part is how do we make the structure type variable as the input for a function, as an output for a function, okay. And I'm using the source file from the textbook 10.04.c. It also can be downloaded from the Pilot under the option of content, and then in the folder called as source. And this time we want to take the import, or really the planet type variable, it is output. We want to make assignment for the planet type variable, or really we want to change the values of the planet type variable. Remember, when we want to change the values for the argument of function, and that argument it is really considered as output variable. And the output variable, it should be a pointer. And because by default, when there is a function call, basically the computer simply takes the value with the function. And then, well, when it returns, those values will be abandoned, will not be used. okay, because you still have the old values in your main function. Let's say if you call the function from the main. So if you simply put planet underscore t, the name of the variable there, it really won't work. So what the textbook here is, we want to pass this time, not only we need to pass value, and also this is pass by reference. Pass by reference usually indicates, okay, the variable of the argument the argument as an output, it is a pointer type. So this is exactly the situation. This is exactly the situation. This is exactly the situation. So basically this time we want to take the input, say we want to take the input directly. And the reason I use the function the source file from textbook directly because I want to make sure not only you can write your program, and also at least you feel comfortable to read the program, the source file written by others, because we simply cannot cover everything, every aspect or topic of the C language, and not even in an actual class. Not to mention currently we are in the distance learning mode. So certainly it is very helpful if you can read some files written by others, and especially those kind of well-written source file. Okay, so I do consider examples on the textbook. They all well written. So this time, first of all, let's take a look at the header of the function. Basically, we want to we want to assign some values for the planet type variable. So clearly, the argument here, it is a planet type, but the value of this variable has to be changed. We cannot just put a variable there because otherwise when the function call, it just takes away the value. And then when it returns, okay, whatever the value you may change for those variables, basically they are being all abandoned. And it has nothing to do where you make a function calls, or it has nothing to do whatever you may have in the main function. So in order to change the values of variable as a function argument, you put a pointer there. So the way declared here is we do have the output variable. It is a pointer to the planet type, PLNP. And then the int result, it is a temporary result, okay? And as I'm saying, I do consider the examples on the textbook, okay, are very well written and they are very well organized. Probably this statement so far, we really never covered anything like this kind of thing in class. We just simply use scanf a lot, okay, and the printf a lot too. And we never explain further. We just say scanf is a function. But anyway, if you recall, when you write a function, you usually have something return in the end. It may return a value. So you need a scanf may also return a value. And basically the arrangement, the value returned indicates, okay, the number of variables successfully taken in by scanf. Scanf returns an integer, which just indicates number of values taken in by scanf successfully. Taken in by scanf successfully. So if you take a look, how many values we want to take in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 3 values. So if this operation is successful, basically the result will be 5. The result will be 5, okay? And if you have a number less than 5, which simply means the scanf did not take all the values, and it only if the scanf returns 3, in this case, it means it's only getting 3 values correctly, because the scanf It is taking the input from the screen, from the keyboard. It is possible someone may not know how well this computer or the program works, and it may just type in 2 numbers, 3 numbers, and then in that case, it's not going to get all the numbers. So it will return something other than 5, something other than 5. So this is scan the explanation part for scanf part. Okay. And also, basically, this function we are doing here, it is to assign values for the planet type. And so when we do have all 5 values, scanned correctly, it just says the result equals 1. Else, well, if the result not equal to, remember this exclamation equal, which means not equal to. EOF, it is for the end of file. Okay, end of file. End of file, which means, well, it really, well, I'm still using this example. If you want to take in 5 values, okay, because there are 5 members, and then, well, somewhat there are only 2 of them or 3 of them, and they say that's it. Okay, that's what all we have, and the end, it is denoted by EOF, all in uppercases. Consider that is a keyword in the C language, EOF. Literally it means end of file, end of file, end of file, okay, and then result equals 0. And also, before I jump into other topics, anyone can tell what is the actual meaning of 1 here and 0 there. In C language, the Boolean value, true or false, okay, it is represented as an integer. Simply put, in the C language, false, okay, it is represented by 0. Anything other than 0, it's just true. It's just true. So basically, it simply says, okay, the result is 1. Simple result is 1. Basically, it just means result equals 5 from the previous scanf. It's getting 5 values correctly. So the scan planet, supposedly, it is a successful operation. It is a successful operation. Otherwise, 0, well, the integer value is 0, which really it is false. It means for false, which means the scanf really did not get those 5 values correctly. Okay, scanf. Do read the program on the book carefully, and yeah, I think well, you can at least for now, when you write your own function, do use the examples from the textbook for reference, and they should be done in a similar way. Okay, and then the next part, I just want to emphasize a little bit. Okay, for struct type, when you want to access a member of a struct type, it will have to be accessed in the following way, starting with the name of the struct type, followed by the dot, followed by the name of the member. So I'm seeing those dots, and then I'm seeing after the dots, I'm seeing those names for the member. They make sense. And then the other thing is that you want to be very careful. Okay, the planet type variable declared in the function, okay, as a function argument, it is pointer type. A pointer, it is an address. It does not have any members. Okay, so you don't want to use PLNP directly. You will have to use the asterisk notation. PLNP itself, it is a pointer. Asterisk PLNP, which means it's taking out the content of this pointer, taking out the content of this piece of memory. And the content, supposedly it is for the planet type. So it has a member name, it has a member diameter, it has a member of moons, and it has a member of orbit time, rotation time. And actually, this is for the string part. Basically, that's all you need to do. And remember, the member diameter, it is double type. This part, it is required as for a member of the planet, is pair parentheses. And then you see the entire thing. Okay, I'll try to explain the ampersand in the beginning in a moment. Okay, if we don't have the ampersand, this entire thing pretty much would represent just a single, like a single variable. And then remember, when you have a single variable as the output argument, we need to use the mechanism called as pass by reference, right? So you want to take the address of the member. So that is the thing you are seeing, okay? Ampersand, it is taking out the address, okay, of that particular member. And the member, it is saved in the struct variable pointed by PLNP. And then for the other ampersand, pretty much they are all about the same. I guess it might be a little harder to follow for now. You really, if you can, maybe you can start working with your assignment first. Okay, I do have the assignment for this week, and the assignment, somewhat I consider it's pretty big. It is the assignment of lab and the project combined together, and it is due in the last week. It's for 30 points. Basically, you want to do similar kind of thing, and instead of the planet type, you want to have an element type, those chemical elements. And then each chemical element may have different properties, or certainly have different names. So it has different members. And then you want to write a scan element or print element very similar, like to those source files. The scan element should be written in a similar fashion like this. Printf is a lot easier, but anyway, if you need any reference, use this as an example for printf. Okay, print out the element, print element. And especially for scan element, you really want to be very careful when you are having a pointer and you want to have a pointer. Well, you want to take out the actual value from the pointer. And you are going to use the asterisk notation. And then you want to take the address of the variable, because the variable, it is a member of the planet type. So you are going to have the ampersand before the entire thing. Ampersand. So even though simply by listening, by looking, I guess you may say it's not a big deal. But anyway, it would be very helpful. Indeed, if it's not a big deal, that's great. That means you really understand C language very well. And if not, especially when you are working on the assignment, do use the programs on the textbook or really the programs I may have on my notes. And indeed, in this case, those programs are directly downloaded from the textbook. So basically, this should be considered as an example how you want to write the code for print element. And this should be the example how you want to write the function for scan an element. Okay. Print a planet type. Scan a planet type. And I think for now, I would say that is really the big part of chapter 10, structures. So let me know if you have any question about the structures. Thank you for watching.